You know me. I'm all about the finer things in life. Beautiful cars, beautiful guitars, beautiful women, and beautiful watches. My accountant recently informed me that I have too much money, and so I thought, just like many other fabulously wealthy elites before me, I'd get into collecting watches. It's time to cast aside the relatable girl-next-door vibe. Have you ever seen a £1 million watch collection? Feast your eyes on these. I jest. Those of you at all familiar with the watch world will immediately identify that I am talking, to term it politely, absolute nonsense. If you don't know me, my name is Mary Spender. I'm a singer-songwriter, and yes, this is a hobby channel. You can find my main channel linked in the description. There is not a Rolex in sight, not one trace of a Cartier. I am very much a god-tier Casio gal for the most part, with a few exceptions. And the thing that excites me about watches is the complex craftsmanship, the dedication to absolute precision, to innovative design and their art form, the history, the cultural significance, and of course the functionality. And I have a collector's mindset, and well, it's spilled over from guitars to watches. Guitar moved from my hobby to career, so I had some space to fill. And if you're searching for watches on YouTube, chances are you already consider yourself an enthusiast, an aficionado, a horophile, or just a good old-fashioned watch nerd. Or perhaps you're curious to learn but do not know where to start. And if you're unfamiliar with all the brands and terminology, much like the guitar world, it can be really intimidating. Well, let me preface this channel by saying I don't know everything, just like I don't know everything about guitars. I'm no expert, but I'm on a journey to learn more, and I'm going to take you with me so we can learn together. And if I get things wrong, please do let me know in the comments. Feel free to educate me. We'll just do the best of our ability and we'll guide each other. So, okay, let's start from the top. My Breitling Super Ocean 42. This is the watch that really made me do some research. I have loved watches since I was 5 years old and had a flick-flack, and I have always loved gadgets, but I wasn't aware of the community. I couldn't understand why you could have a watch that cost 30 quid and one that cost 300,000. So that's when I learnt about self-winding mechanical watches, and this was a real treat to myself as I entered my 30s. Swiss watches carry such pedigree, known all over the world for their quality of engineering and design. And, you know, if you're really lucky, they can be a great investment as they might appreciate over time. However, it's not a quick way to make cash, and I heard some real horror stories when I was looking, so I knew to buy a watch that I could afford and really loved, not what I thought would be valuable in future. And I love Breitling's history. It was founded in 1884 and family-owned until 1979. And they're one of the most innovative companies on the market with many aerial and nautical achievements. And I like that you can actually get your hands on them in store and walk away with one without an elite waiting list. And the astronaut Scott Carpenter wore a Breitling Navitimer cosmonaut during his Mercury Atlas 7 mission in 1962, making it the first Swiss watch worn in space, and Breitlings have been worn by James Bond and Jerry Seinfeld. I identify strongly with both of them as stylish millionaire womanizers. So this is my quality watch, and I love it as much as the day I bought it, and it made me feel different, and I've worn it around the world and on stage, and it sparked a lot of discussion. So it's 42mm stainless steel case. I swapped out the bracelet for a rubber strap quite recently as it was getting a little bit too heavy for me. It's really nice, sporty, water resistant to 500 meters, so suitable for my level of diving and swimming, you name it. I love it, and I would buy another Breitling all over again. Eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed that the majority of my collection are Casio. Everyone knows Casio, everyone. Even non-watch lovers have probably owned a Casio. I love the brand. The company has been making machines that look like props from science fiction movies for decades now. And Casio was founded in Japan in 1946. They made a killing as the producer of the country's first electronic calculator before moving into watches. And they're a true quartz watch pioneer and the inventor of the most indestructible watch of all time, the G-Shock. A quick note on G-Shock. I get a lot of compliments from my male friends, but my experience today is that women absolutely hate them, and my friends have called them the ugliest watches they've ever seen. And if there are any female G-Shock fans out there, do comment below to prove your existence. I cannot be the only one. So I bought these as I'd been reading all about G-Shocks, and my interest was piqued, and I thought I'd see what they're all about. And yes, they're all kind of hideous, but I love them. Okay, so this blue G-Shock is the third signature model from John Mayer in a collaboration between Mayer, Casio and Hodinkee. John Mayer is one of my guitar heroes, and he is a watch connoisseur. Although some will say I've been influenced by John Mayer to start collecting, that's not quite true. However, I think he's given musicians like me permission to cross over and show interest, because you don't have to be defined by just one thing. Personality is all-encompassing, and my personality is nerdy, and it's cool to be nerdy. So he's designed 3 G-Shocks. The first was inspired by the Casio Tone SK5 keyboard he played as a child, and this one is an 80s classic, the Casio PT1 keyboard. It's a limited edition and very much on the up. I think I bought it for $180 and it now goes for like $500. So it's made from resin, very hardy. It's water resistant to 200 meters and has a 2-year battery life. And then this yellow model is designed by Ed Sheeran. You know, when it comes to musicians, watches, I gotta collect them all. Inspired by his album Subtract, again made in collaboration with Hodinkee. Again, resin, case and strap, very hardy, waterproof. They're basically the same, but different colours. And there's a bit of a typo on the website. It says that it's going to include a handwritten note from John Mayer on the Ed Sheeran model. Also, for a supposedly limited edition watch, this one's been available for ages now and is still in stock, so maybe this one wasn't as good an investment. Casio G-Shock GM-B2100. This is my Casio spin on the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak collection and a tribute to the original G-Shock. I love the rainbow dial customization by IFL Watches. It's got this very sleek octagonal bezel body shape. It's solid metal, it's super chunky, and it's a little bit tacky, but I just love it, and it tells me everything. It's even got Bluetooth to pair with your smartphone, and it's solar powered too. 1991 CWC G10 quartz watch. This is from the Cabot Watch Company, established in 1972, who supplied watches to the Ministry of Defence for issue to British servicemen. It is a quartz watch, says it on the tin, Swiss parts, British military specification. It's got a stainless steel case with shatter-resistant acrylic crystal being the term for the glass or plastic that covers the dial and hands of the watch. My father was in the British Army for many years and served in the first Gulf War in 1991, where this watch was originally worn. So this specific model means a lot to me. And it's been called the most definitive military field watch, and I found it online from a vintage store in the UK. It's in really good condition. And then I just bought a basic NATO strap to be able to wear it. And also it has a Bristol University connection. I went to Bristol University and, Cabot, there's a whole thing. So yeah, this one is very precious and means the world to me. Back to Casio. This is the Tiffany dial Casio. It's definitely got a real name, but yeah, I just can't even remember it. And yeah, it's just the Tiffany blue stainless steel with mineral glass crystal. This is one of my most commented upon watches. It's super affordable, retailing at around £40 or dollars, but looks very desirable and the camera loves it. 50 meters water resistance too. It's somewhat inspired by the Rolex Oyster Perpetual, but without the worry of wearing a super duper expensive watch out and about. And although I'd love the real version one day, this one is just so fun. And I just like that watch lovers are like, ooh, Tiffany dial, cool, nice Casio. That's what I love about watches. It just always sparks conversation. Casio World Time. The Casio AE 1200, also known as the World Time, is also sometimes referred to as the Casio Royale because of its resemblance to the Seiko Bond wore in Octopussy. It's got a great range of settings, a 10-year lithium battery life, stainless steel band with a triple fold clasp and hollow links so it's nice and light. It sounds great for all you ASMR fans. Listen to that. The watch itself has a plastic case with a stainless steel back to avoid scratches, an LED backlight for the lighting display, and the world map has multiple time zones that light up as you scroll through them, which is just so fun. It's also got a countdown timer. Yeah, I mean, it's water resistant to 100 meters. It's so retro, so affordable. Right now, it is my favorite digital watch, but under this light, I can see that I have scratched the face, and that makes me incredibly sad. I don't even know how I did that. But I do wear this one an awful lot. An awful lot. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of being a kid and looking at Casios for the first time and just being like, what is going on? Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Tissot is another Swiss brand going back to 1853. They were the creators of the first pocket watch with 2 time zones and the world's first non-magnetic wristwatch, and known for their stylish range of women's watches, modelled by Grace Kelly and future Queen of England, Kate Middleton. This is the PRX Powermatic 80 in gold. I love the gorgeous open back. It is very classy and very 70s. Tissot are also the official sponsor of the Tour de France, and I'm a keen cyclist, so it feels very appropriate to have worn this all of July when I'm filming this. And the Powermatic 80 refers to the 80 hours of power reserve, meaning it can be left off the wrist for 3 days and still have gas in the tank. So yeah, it's got a Nivacron hairspring, good for shocks and temperature changes. And I just love the dial. I think this is one of the best watches out there for the price. And I bought it for a friend's wedding, for me, not her. She got enough attention. And this, I guess, is my most recent purchase. And I just know how respected the PRX is within the watch community. And, well, I needed a gold watch. Gold is kind of my colour, but I just had so many silver watches that I was like, do you know what? I'm going to spoil myself. Swatch Bioceramic Moon Swatch, Mission to Pluto. This is my favourite toy watch. This series was a collaboration between Omega and Swatch, and it's their take on Omega's Speedmaster Moon Watch, which was the first watch on the moon. And this is the Mission to Pluto model, but I changed the Velcro strap to this really cheap Amazon one. And I just love the gorgeous eggshell tone dial and how it contrasts with the black and burgundy. It's bioceramic, that's 2/3 zirconium oxide ceramic powder with 1/3 biosourced material derived from castor oil, which sounds very exciting as a beginner. They got me. But isn't it just a fancy way of saying it's not quite 100% plastic? Yeah? I love it. I would definitely get another one in a different colour, and I know they've released too many different variations, but I see it on people's wrists all over the place, and it's always a conversation starter. And actually, I saw a woman in a shop and she was wearing one, and I just struck up a conversation. It was just like, I have one too, aren't they great? And she was like, yeah. And I just feel like if you're a watch nerd, you've gone and got one, haven't you? Or you just actually have the real thing. Okay, sticking on Swatch. I love Swatch. I've had so many Swatch watches over the years, but this one, buyer's remorse maybe. I know that is part of the process. You buy watches that you regret, and this one is stainless steel, and it's sparkly, which got me at first, but then I've decided I'm not really into it and I never wear it, and this one might find itself rehomed quite soon. So let me know in the comments if it looks like the love of your life, because yeah, it just doesn't really suit me, and I've learnt so much more since buying it, and I won't do any more rushed purchases. Well, there you go. I hope this video just, I don't know, teaches you a little bit more about me, about my little watch collection that people have been noticing in my music videos, especially when I do these trio videos where I have 3 characters and they're all wearing different watches for their outfits and their personality. And I know that this watch collection is relatively entry level. I don't want to sort of say that, but I feel like any watch connoisseur out there will look at this and be like, okay, cool. You like watches, great. Let's see where you go. And I don't know where I will go next. But let me know if you have any questions, if you have any topics you'd like me to cover. This channel is very much a discovery channel and could go in all sorts of directions, so why not subscribe? But in the meantime, my main channel is my priority, so head over there for some music. But thank you for watching the first episode of Drive Me Wild.